on behalf of all 32 chapters and centers of IIID, I welcome all attendees, panelists, student team from ARC College of Design, and students from all other institutes across India who have joined us today for this unique series called Reading Master Practices. So I welcome you to today's webinar of students reading master practices, an initiative started by the Jaipur chapter of IIID with wholehearted support from across the 32 centers and chapters of IIID. And thank you for being part of this. I would now like to read a message from our President, Abin Design. Warm greetings on this day when we stand poised on a historical moment in the story of IIID, where education plays a lead role. What is so beautiful about this wonderful initiative by the Jaipur chapter, always the flag bearer in IIID's quest for quality in education, is instilled networking with all chapters and centers of IIID, which makes it a truly meaningful IIID event in its soul and spirit. Reading master practices is quite a unique way to reach and touch our students, impacting and inspiring them to script a better future for tomorrow. I congratulate all the design practices, students, colleges, faculty, all chairmen and teams at IIID chapters and centers, NEC members, and most of all, the Jaipur regional chapter for this wonderful initiative. All the best. This is a message from Architect Abin Design, the president of IIID. So today's session of Reading Master Practices features the master practice Abin Design Studio out of Kolkata. I'd like to now introduce Abin, which Abin Design Studio started in Kolkata in 2005. And 15 years later, it is one of the most path-breaking architectural firms in the country. With Abin Chaudhary at the helm as the design principal, the two projects today being presented are led by teams headed by Tilak Ajmera and Paramita Chatterjee. Abin Design Studio believes architecture is an artistic expression as far as it transcends its purely utilitarian, technical, and rational realm. And it turns into a metaphoric expression of the lived world, human condition, and context. Abin Design Studio's aim is to provide the soul in the shell. A small message from Abin about today's projects.
Hi, Nandu. Thank you for inviting whole team for this IIID fabulous master sessions. I think my colleagues Paramita and Tilak has explained about two projects. Both the projects is very close to our heart. And typically for RPSG, we are working for this particular projects for last 3.5 years. It's an extraordinarily complicated projects and with the various layers where the client is becoming kind of almost engaged with our all design process selections, and he has a very keen interest on idea of art and related to this. So in RKFL, it's all about clients once interactions, but we actually create almost an 5 floors and 5 different concepts. We shared you 3 layers or 3 floors in terms of the design, where we try to explore various materiality ideas in terms of thematically they are department wise. And we actually in both cases has done an extraordinary exploration of the material joint ideas. Many detail comes out from in terms of interventions of discussions with the site team, with the design team, and really enjoyed. I think Paramita and Tilak has done wonderful job, and IIID, the way you're doing this.
Let me now introduce the elite panelists we have today. We have architect Chirag Vadgama, chairman, the Bharuch Center, of IIID. Architect Dinesh Verma, Chairman, the Bangalore chapter of IIID. Architect Jayapandian, Chairman of the Chennai chapter of IIID. Architect Kamal Periwal, Chairperson, Kolkata Center of IIID. And Architect Mayur Gandhi, Chairman, Satara Center of IIID. And I'm Nandakumar, your moderator for today. I'm the chairperson for the Hyderabad Regional Chapter. And um, today's webinar is featuring the college, ARC College of Design and Business, Jaipur, represented by students Kritika Maharishi, Muskan Lakhotia, Neha Gatani, Nishta Tandon, and Tanya Saraf. I will now request the student team members representing the Arch College of Design and Business to begin their presentation.
Good evening, everyone. We, the students of Arch College of Design and Business, are here to present two projects of Abin Design Studio, Kolkata. Abin Design Studio began in October 2005 under the leadership of Abin Chaudhary. ADS believes architecture is an artistic expression as far as it transcends its purely utilitarian, technical, and rational realm, turns into a metamorphic expression of the lived world, human condition, and context. The aim is to provide a soul in the shell. The projects are the global headquarters of Ramkrishna Forgings Limited and RP Sanjeev Goenka Group Corporate Office. So, we will start with the global headquarters of Ramkrishna Forgings Limited. It is an office in a multiple level commercial building that covers around 11,750 square feet area in Kolkata, India. The office across the 9th, 10th, and 11th floors is designed by architect Abin Chaudhary and his team. The office is designed to the brief given by the client that states building should create a lasting impact. The office should carry a unified language. Uniqueness should be expressed by the building as an expression. The project itself is a proof that the designer has implemented all of them in a much better way.
Taking cues from Kolkata's rich colonial history, the design language gives a nod to the louvered windows and arch colonnades that are intrinsic to the architectural context of this cultural capital of the country.
Spatial planning. Ninth floor. The moment we enter the space, we have a lift lobby. Then, as we move further, we would see the grand reception lobby, which is centrally located, having workplaces on either side, which we will be discussing it on the later slide. After that, the corridor is seen leading us towards different rooms. Then, the meeting room is seen having a round table. Next to the meeting room lies the cabin. We would also see the manager's cubicle that is placed in an hierarchy. Open workspace is seen where employees are seated. The pantry, which could be a relaxing corner. In front of the pantry is the service desk, and now the toilets are placed at other ends of the corner, 10th and the 11th floor. Similar concepts of workstations is used in 10th and the 11th floor as well. This is the lobby on both the floors. Now, the security desk and then the corridor leading towards the meeting room, manager cubicles, open workspace, and the conference. These are the meeting rooms that are centrally located so that they could be easily accessible. Move further, we could also see the cabins, which are designed by keeping the Vastu guidelines in mind, and they are easily accessible to the natural light. And here are the manager cubicles designed on the basis of a hierarchy, as they are placed in front of an open workstation so that the manager could easily keep an eye on their employees. These are the cafeterias. Now comes the conference room, then the audit room on the 10th floor, and the display area into the 11th floor. The toilets and the storeroom are placed on both the opposite ends of the office. Now we come across to the daylight analysis. As the direction of the building is northeast, so by utilizing this direction, The designer has located the regular workstations near the source of natural light. It is said that the sunlight increases the work efficiency of a person, so this will be a benefit for the company as well.
The ninth floor houses the main reception for the office. An open space adorned with a curved feature wall invites one in. The teak-louvered feature integrates the desk, planters, windows, and seating, reflecting fluidity in planning while lending an open feel to a small space. The soft edges help extend one's eye around the room. Hidden functional desk equipment and storage cabinets keep the reception clean and clutter-free. The other spaces on this floor contain the administrative and IT department workspaces. One moving to the 11th floor has to first enter the 9th floor, and through security check, they are allowed to move to the up floors. Now, talking about material and lighting, it is designed by keeping the entrance pathway in mind. The design elements used at this floor are carried forward in the same manner to the other floors as well. To signify uniformity, the elements are the curved corners that are used to make space look larger. Natural polished birch wood and sycamore veneer is used because a strong material was needed. A cove valence light are used all over the floor.
The 10th floor, comprising the finance and account division of the country, carry the design language forward. The nodal intersections of corridors have been opened out to create breakout spaces as a reprise from intense work clusters. Glass partition is used in front of the cabin in waiting area that partially divides the space, giving a high firing view. The conference room is designed as a whitewashed cocoon with softened edges giving emphasis on the conference table with a piece of artwork. The view from the windows of this room will catch your attention as this building being centrally located in the city and even at a certain height did not fail to give a panoramic view of the city. The colors that are used here are the primary colors that add vibrancy to the space, and at some point, the black color is used to balance the space. Black is an offset to the primary colors. The crafted wood feature on wall helps in balancing the palette by complementing the hued elements along the neutral floors and the ceilings. The intersections that are given at the corridors have been opened out to create a breakout space as a reprise from the intense clusters. The ceilings at certain places are kept exposed to give an effect of high ceiling, as the building, being a normal commercial building, has low heighted ceilings. The red pipes that are seen on the ceiling are the sprinkler pipes that are to be kept red according to the regulations, and here their color even matches with the color of the room. While the ceilings that are covered through false ceilings are in the areas having more visitors and pipes or more services running through it. The conference room is considered to be the most important part of an office, and here at RKFL, the clients wanted to use it on a regular basis for video conferencing with international clients. The whole space has been planned in a minimalistic manner, keeping everything at the eye level, extremely subtle, and the false ceiling edges in soft curves in order to make the space look bigger and also maintain the concentration of the employees. The blackout blinds have been planned behind the arch-shaped windows in such a manner that they do not break the monotony by being visible at all times. The arch shape of the windows has been transformed to the front wall to enhance the visual balance and symmetry of the room. The artwork on the table adds color and gives a break to the space, making it look interesting. The customized circular solid wood door handles act as the signature element of the designer, which has been followed in the whole space. Now the meeting room and then the 11th floor.
The marketing division on the 11th floor is where the office receives most of its visitors. Thus, planned to incorporate a product display space in the entrance lobby, a light wood ceiling extends down the floor in soft waves, creating the shelves for display while setting a theme for the space. A contemporary take on the arches is explored in conjunction with modern aesthetics to create a timeless design. The arches serve as a threshold demarcating the corridors. A contrast to the rhythmic louvered arches is the featured fall in solid surface, etched with graphics of client's product range, extending display area into the circulation zones. Artwork again is an important aspect of activating the spaces. Talking about the material and the lighting, being on the marketing floor, the emphasis of this floor has been on the display of the works and the materials. As they have automobile products, which are indeed heavy, so they have created certain rack like structures to display them. And even in the display area, by following the non edgy theme, they have created curved edges, which indeed gives a smooth and subtle expression. The birch wood has been used with natural polish, and sycamore veneer is also being used. The racks are created with linear strips, which makes the space look more magnified in its own terms. The flooring is made up of cemented tiles, which are placed at 45 degrees, and patterns are created with groutings. The storeroom has been converted into a feature wall. It is amongst the focal elements of the building and is even situated in the most attractive floor. The designer has used the WPS flatbread print to show the graphics of the material in which the company deals into. They have used the red color to make the wall look more attractive and imprinted the products made by them in a way that the visitors could easily relate through it. The red color is even used to gain the attention to the view of the viewers and the visitors of the floor. Looking closely to the picture, we can see the skirting, which is of 1 inch in height and 18 mm in depth. It is made up of black powder coating metal to give a shadow gap.
With this, we conclude that by the use of curved wall feature and soft edges used unites the space and the design. Birch wood used in most of the parts makes the area look spacious and creating a good environmental balance. Each floor explores an individual language, common elements like the use of primary colors and lowered features. Also, limited colors are used to give an open feel to the area. The black color is used with the primary colors in order to balance the tone of colors, and similar elements of design are also being used, but they are treated differently. Vastu was a major concern while planning.
Our second project is a corporate office from Kolkata that is situated in one of the cleanest area of the city, which covers an area around 1,95,900 square feet. The office name RPSG is designed by architect Abin and his team, which on its own explains the nature of the client and tells a lot about his likes and dislikes. The main points which the designer has taken from Mr. Sanjeev Goenka's brief seem to be his immense love towards art, his enthusiasm towards collecting art and being a design innovator. The designer has taken all the inputs in a clear way and created an office which delivers on his wishes as well. He wanted an office which should be merged with an idea of contemporary museum. Keeping all that in mind, the space is specifically designed as a place to use artifacts and human aspirations with a running work environment.
The corporate office began as a forefront of experimentation with spatial narrative through craftsmanship, an organization of art stalwarts, and intent of creating an atmosphere of ethical calmness. The central core diffuses into multiplanar spaces, and the structure has been planned in such a way that the natural light washes across the full light atrium, which adds on to the aesthetic of the space, filtering into seamless working spaces with first floor having library and meeting rooms, and there are offices which are segregated vertically according to the hierarchy of corporate offices in third, fourth, fifth, and sixth floor. The seventh floor is an executive floor which is designed by architect Rajiv Saini. On the terrace, they have used skylight which allows sunlight rays to spread over the entire space. The building is physically segregated to justify efficiency of function, and spaces are visually connected, transcending boundaries of closed office habitat.
This part of the office has been treated by the designer in a way that it could catch everyone's attention. The central core can be seen diffusing into multiplanar spaces with natural light washing across the full height of the atrium. This part, at the same time, establishes a visual connect amongst the workspaces and the floors. It can even be treated as the most relaxing part because of the sunlight and as the most relaxing part because of the sunlight and the open space it provides. The place then depicts the play of monumentality and the intimacy where it tends to showcase the subdued material palette. The focal elements addressing themselves as larger than life are implemented for the grand entrance of this place. The grand steps that are seen leading towards the entrance path of the atrium declare a proprietorship over the valuable collection of art. Thus, the design of this atrium tends to make it as a part that would celebrate art and light through accessibility and ownership through a sense of pride. The small windows that are shown on the side walls of this atrium are placed randomly in a sense to that it makes the empty wall look more interactive. The windows are highlighted with thick side walls that are made from birch wood.
Coming to the inspiration, a play of monumentality and intimacy, subdued material palette, larger than life focal elements, and it was implemented in the grand entrance atrium. The design of is reminiscent of life-affirming river ghats of the country, leading up to the spires of temples and places of collective wisdom where everyday life meets spirituality. Talking about the spatial planning, here we can see the circulation zones. Starting up with the ground floor of the building, this floor consists of many entries. The reception area is a bit far from the entry so that the visitors could have a clear view of the office. Leading towards the main entry, one can get a view of the atrium, which gives a glimpse of the whole building till the top floor. The other parts of the floor are administrative office, waiting lobby, puja room, and lift lobby. The grand staircase of the atrium leads us to the first floor, which takes us to the open library and meeting rooms. This floor has the majority of meeting rooms and boardrooms for RPSG organization. Here, the rest of the floor have similar concepts of workspaces, which are segregated according to different brands owned by the company.
Ground floor. This area mainly consists of waiting room, puja area, administrative office, and reception. But the part that attracts the most and is designed in a way that it signifies the nature of the client and that can be seen in the plan with blue, the grey, and the brown check pattern around it. These are the parts with water bodies, sculptures, the grand staircase, and the marbles. The red sculpture is the customized sculpture that is placed under the water body is designed by the designer and his team, which depicts a modern way of meditation. The yellow sculpture is by artist Paresh Mehti, and the grand staircase that shows the path to the atrium is actually accessible and one could walk through it as it leads to the first floor. The inspiration of this whole area, consisting of water bodies and sculpture, is inspired from the Ghats of Kolkata. First floor. This area mainly consists of reception, pantry, grand staircase. But the focal point and the most appealing area of this floor is the library, which is designed in a way that it could create a buffer for the meeting facilities on this floor. The library on this floor is open for all employees, guests, and customers. The glass is used in the railing to provide a clear look through the floor, which views downwards and upwards through the atrium.
Library. This place, through its design, sets up an example of how one can cover column and beam structure in the most attractive way that is possible. These circular structures made up on columns act as a booster in its aesthetic appearance and at the same point works as a sound insulator and visual buffer for the floor. The circular elements are used to subdivide the space, which gives an appealing look to the viewers. The shelf-like structures are even distinguished by the designer in the most subtle way, which which is seen in the play with the play of light. As we can see, the shelves containing the book have curved lights directed downwards, and the empty shelves have lights directed upwards. This also deducts the fact of them being empty. The material that is used to create circular structures are flexible plywood with veneer coating on the top and then the PU paint done on the top.
These are the paintings chosen by the designer according to his likes that inspired him to convert an artwork into a carpet concept. The first painting is by Binoy Verghese, the second is by Mahinder Soni, the third is by G.R. Irana, fourth is by Riaz Komu, and fifth is by Mosumi Biswas. Custom printed self-adhesive vinyl tile carpet is made by Milliken, which gives a finished look to the floors. The colors used in second floor are blue-yellow abstract carpet pattern. The orange-red color carpet is used in third floor. The red-yellow carpet floor covering is used in fourth floor. The shades of blue and green are used in fifth floor, and the blue-white color pattern is used in sixth floor. The lobby introduces the design language on every floor. This lobby utilizes a thread-woven wood-crafted front desk to tie in a color theme of this floor. The reception desk have been treated in various ways to express the purpose, from back-painted glass to even leftover carpet rugs. Use of color, artwork, and material has been utilized to create a customized statement pieces. Each floor is specifically detailed with customized carpet flooring and furniture that reacts to the curated artwork.
With this, we conclude that the designer tried to conceptually bring the elements of design into action and has tried to incorporate the interest and brief given by the client. The design connects the concept of corporate office with the ambience of museum. The designer took the inspiration from some of the paintings and tried to create a floor covering from an abstract art piece. The glass used in most of the spaces create depth and visual connectivity among the staff members. Thank you.
Thank you to the student group presenting the two projects from Abin Design Studio. Our student group is from all over the country. They're from Sikkim, Bihar, and Jaipur. And thank you to this varied bunch of young ladies for presenting these projects beautifully. Thank you. And now we'll get to the panel discussion. Chirag, about the first project, RK Forgings Limited. How do you think the student covered the project, and did they convey the essence of the project? And what's your advice to them?
First of all, good evening. I'm so happy right now, first of all, to acknowledge the efforts of Anshuman and IIID JRC team for initiating such beautiful concept of student of interior design to understand the master practices and presenting the work so beautifully with so good graphics and good analysis. It was done beautifully. I think what designer has done, what they have explained was very nice, the colonial architecture. And I think they've explained both the projects. Instead of just giving on one project, like how they've done, I'll say that they have analyzed the linear space, which was defined by colonial architecture, which was like per floor thing. And the second office, which was a volumetric thing. So you student have understood the linear space and the volumetric space and how a single level floors are designed with a linearity, and how a multi-level space is conceptualized when there is a larger office. So you have explained both the offices in a very nice way. And I think it must have been great to learn that how the two different kind of spaces are dealt by. Like when you have a single floor office, each floor is designed in a different way with certain principles in mind. And whereas a volumetric space is concerned, where more than one floor, so like 3-4 floors are connected, 6 floors are connected, their entire space experience is different and the entire conceptual theory is different. So the beautifully Abin has designed it. The way he has used colonial architecture in RK office and the Ghat in volumetric, Goenka office, it was beautifully explained by all of you. So I would say it was nicely done. Congratulations, all.
Thank you, Chirag. Can I now request Dinesh Verma to unmute? So Dinesh, the second project has a great use of art and color. There's a focus, the way they've used art and color to elaborate the whole volumetric space. Could you elaborate on the use of art and color in corporate interior projects and your advice to the students. Dinesh.
Well, firstly, I would definitely say, the type of analysis which has been done by the students definitely has been on the line. I'm not very sure as to which year the students are and how much of experience they've had before in terms of, judging or analyzing projects. Have they done anything before? Or is it the first time they are doing something like this? Because if it is the first time, it's really condemnable. They have really done a fantastic job. A couple of things which I would put as an advice before going specifically for this particular project. What happens is, that when it comes to an interior, when it comes to a space planning and all that, we restrict ourselves only to our eyes. Mm-hmm. Please use your other senses also. You have your ears also, right? You have a skin also. You have a hand also. You have the feeling also, right? So I would have sort of maybe, a little bit of touching on as to how the ears feel, how are the acoustics there, okay, or how are the services running. There was a good input on the type of lighting at a couple of places which was mentioned, the library area, for example, how the light comes from the top and from the bottom. So there have been these touches, but, a little bit more on, I do not know from where the coffee comes. We are just talking of the library, we are talking of the conference rooms, we are talking of all the things, but then there's somebody who's bringing you the coffee or the tea from somewhere, right? And when you look at it at a detail, that is very important.
Sure.
The toilets are terribly important. No office will be without it, right? I'm just trying to point out a couple of places or things which, which if you would have touched, your things would have been more complete, right? So these are a couple of things which are just sort of going on in my mind as you people are planning. That's why I said I do not know whether it's the first experience or you have already done a couple or more, but it's a learning process. We people, even now, whenever we see something, we learn something out of it, we gain something out of it, we absorb something out of it. And the best way to keep all your, senses open. One very interesting that it was a culmination of the combination of a corporate interior with a museum, right? This is what was mentioned.
Yes.
Now, a very interesting note which was put in by the students, and that is what sort of made me think I should ask a couple of questions to the students as to, do you think that this type of art, and you're working in an environment where there's so much of art, right? Does it enhance the working spirit of the people who are there inside? What is your view about it?
Anyone of you can take the students, you can take up.
Would anybody like to sort of put on to that? See, it's an excellent piece of work which has been done, and we are analyzing it. So I was just trying to ask you people as to, do you feel that the staff who's working there, they feel more proud of that place? Is it sort of enhancing their work culture? Do they feel they belong to the place more because of this? What has been your analysis on that?
Kritika, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I think that this eventually helps in enhancing our psychology. It has an effect on our psychology, that if we see something that is very unique, artwork or anything which is very specific in design, like artworks and paintings, it obviously enhances our design. We put these type of artworks in our design so that our thinking and our psychology obviously helps in refreshing our minds. So I think so it is a part of a design. It should be a part of design.
It should be a part of the thing. So similarly, yes, even the colors, as what you people are mentioning, this place had a lot of colors which go with the type of art and things and all. So any input as to what type of color, because you also mentioned that different floors had different colors. That is a part of your analysis.
Yes, sir. Right? So the artwork was converted into the the abstract paintings and abstract design, which was now implemented in the carpet tile flooring. So that was very unique.
Yeah.
It was very unique to see the taking the hues from the paintings and converting it into something which we can use in the interiors. So the process of seeing the conversion of artwork into design, so it was very keen.
That is brilliant. That is non-debatable, I would say. But what I am asking you as an analysis, what you people are doing, as to when you are doing different floors and different colors, right? How does that affect the mood of the people who are working? Like if I'm working on a floor which is red in color, and tomorrow I'm posted to some other place which is having a black floor, so will my working thing change? You know, I think we are trying to analyze something,
Yes, sir.
isn't
So,
it?
sir, there
So,
was a balance
I'm
between
looking
the
forward to the analysis part of it.
so there was a balance between the colors, as the walls and the ceiling were were neutral, and the material palette was also very neutral. So the choice of color was on the balance of the palette. I think so. The color play a very big role. They like we have to put a thought what type of color will enhance a place and what type of color will um, make the space more attractive, or it may be making the space negative also. So we have to maintain a balance between the different type of colors and materials also.
Kritika, I agree with what you are saying, but before I close, let me ask you one question. What you just mentioned about the colors and their thing on the feeling, some colors enhance your mood, some colors make you feel more depressed, right?
Yes, sir.
Are these colors always the same, or they've been changing from decade to decade?
So if we use a specific
Like a
color,
red color or a blue color is
so blue color is mainly denoted with soothing, and red color makes us very activating, like it activates our emotions. So using red color in right amount and blue color also in right amount, because it sometimes make us feel depressed, and so there is a role of colors we should look at.
and and you found these colors playing that type of role in the interiors which you saw,
Yes, sir.
right? That's what I was coming to. Thank you, Nandu. I would congratulate the teams. They have done an excellent job, and once again, brilliant.
Dinesh, that was beautiful advice on the census, the user. So they sort of covered it in the smaller office, but when they came to the big office, it sort of got lost in that scale and thing. So thank you, Dinesh, for that brilliant advice. Now we come to Jay Pandian. So JP, both the projects, though the colors were a lot, but the material palette and the detailing was sort of a minimal kind of thing. But at the same time, they made some bold statements in the interiors. What is your take on restraint in interiors, and how do you deal with scale in these large interior projects? JP, go ahead.
Hi to all. First of all, I have to congratulate the students, all students, the way they observe the design, the way they analysis this, that interpretation is very good, actually. So from that analysis, I can understand the board seminars, the way of they taken the design as a process, how they approach the design with the young mind, and very exciting thing. Then I can understand their believe and the time frame and the budget are the most difficult things to manage in this kind of projects. So here we can easily understand how they formulate all those things. It's really very good, and they take the inspiration from the everything, the every material, every colors, every textures they take. Even in the inbuilt furniture also they take some exhibit their samples as inspiration things. So then the lighting here, we have to important thing, we have to think about this lighting. The lighting, they take it as in very good manner, even though it's a natural light or about artificial light, whatever it is, that is also it's really very good. So these are the points are making bold statement in their design from their analysis. Okay, that's all from my side.
Thank you, Jay Pandian.
Yeah, thank you.
And okay, now I'd like to ask uh, Kamal Bhai. Both the projects and the design team are from Kolkata, like you. Both the projects also reference the city in the use of the colonial arches in the first project and the reference to the Ghats in the second project. So, Kamal Bhai, my question to you is, how important are metaphors and contextual references in routing an interior project in its context? What makes it say this is of Kolkata, and how important is it to do that in interior projects? Your advice, Kamal.
First of all, I would like to congratulate all the students. They have given the great opportunity of studying this kind of project, and it's a huge project in our field, like in interior, and they are getting the chance of studying this kind of project. It is really a great opportunity. Apart from that, the RK forging building is designed by me, so that is one thing which I know.
We didn't know about that.
So that building was designed by me. There's not a single column over there. It's a, I think 6,000 square feet or so space is absolutely column free. So that is one thing where he has molded each and every wall that is utilized very nicely. Avin has done a good job in that. Apart from this, yes, I'll say ki, this concept which he has taken, and he's connecting the space with the with the with our rich heritage and culture. That is an excellent job or excellent concept he has taken. So and I agree that ki, in architecture, because of the builder or having some constraint in the costing, some issues in the work speed and all, so there we are very limited to give any building in a different to connect our heritage and culture. But if someone gets chance to do that kind of thing in the interior, that's really great. Apart from this, the CSC building, which is a Calcutta Electric Supply Company office. And you know, this is very well connected to or very well related to the people of Kolkata, and it is and he is using the concept of the ghat, and that is connecting very much connecting to the people. That is really excellent. And of course, the students which they have minutely taken studied each and every detail of the project. That is really excellent. Even the detail of the small things like skirting and lighting, and of course there are many big things that they have done very good job. I'll tell you one advice I'll give you for them to understand. Okay, since they got two project in hand, that is both the office building and both is office. So they would have studied that what is the ratio they have utilized for open office and enclosed kind of office. And from there, their study will now that will they will start doing this kind of study that what is the ratio is the train going on, and in future something may change, so that that will be the catch, and that will be the reading is required there. See, tomorrow they'll have their own style and their own senses they will apply in that, but of course the trend they should understand. So that is one thing where they can focus. That is not anywhere they have not said that this was the ratio of covered and open. And the daylight use of daylight, of course it's a corporate office headquarter, so daylight use, and what is the impact they are getting, or what is the feeling they are getting with the daylight, with the enclosed kind of space. So that again, it's a feeling that they can express there.
Sure. Thank you, Kamal, for the advice and thing. Now, I'd like to ask Mayur. Mayur, the use of the color and the way art was converted to carpet. And as the students have pointed out, the color is not everywhere. It's on one plane, and they've kept the rest of the things mute. And the big moves in design, the grand staircase and the library, these are what make the soul of that office project, the second one such. Um, what's your take on how the students have done in terms of analysis and justice to the project thing? Mayur, your take on.
I congratulate students. They have done great job and they really analyze well both the projects, uh, and they justify the designer's view into the projects. They well studied the spaces and they well studied use of local craft and context. As Nishita said, focal point of the project is larger than life, but still designer keep the space very quiet and use very less palette uh, to the that second project. And as a student you observe that all the elements in that designs complementing each other. So your design should be like that, means if you design many elements, but it should complement to the each other. This study will give you the better idea to design such a larger spaces. If you observe from last 5 webinars, all the masters practices are architects. They design interiors then in their own spaces. Their challenge come to the interior designers because they have to design the interiors into the someone other spaces. So these webinars and these master practice studies will definitely give you how to design spaces using local context or justify that space. And to be good designer, you should be passionate and honest towards your profession and keep motivated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayur, for the thing. So now both Dinesh and Kamal Bhai brought up this idea of sense of space and the ratio of open workspace to cabins and closed workspaces. Now, COVID's going to turn a lot of these things on the head. I'd want to ask each of you a general question. What do you think is going to happen to workspace design going forward? Already people are saying air conditioned space is bad, natural ventilation, very, very good. So I'd like you guys to take up this thing. So Kamal Bhai, go first, I guess.
So, of course, in future offices, the flow plate which will be available from the builder or from the real estate, that is one very important issue because the sunlight is not in control of anybody, because it is in control of the developer, and developer is doing whatever the big flow plate possible, however it is possible. But I'll suggest one thing. Maybe if we are getting chance of doing some office building in future immediately, so that definitely we will try to capture maximum sunlight, maximum light possible. Apart from this, there should be a flexible plan in future. That is what my suggestion is like. If suppose you can really change the plan as per the requirement. Suppose you can remove 2 or 3 tables, you can add 2 3 tables, you can add some more PowerPoint, you can add something. So this should be a little flexible in future, because this is not going to be a permanent COVID situation. Maybe later you may need little more space, and wherever you need a little more space, there you can add partitions in between. Wherever you need, you can make it more spacious place for someone. There you can remove the partition and you can remove the table. So flexibility is very important point for the immediate future.
Thank you, Kamal. Dinesh, you want to go?
Yeah, as what Kamal mentioned, that yes, the entire thing has to be modular, and then we can make it into X, 2X, 3X. That is something very, very important. But the other thing, what is happening, and in the past few years, if you notice, when we used to do offices previously, the per square foot per person type of a thing which was there was really, good. IT spaces used to be designed at about 150, 125 square feet per person, nice walkways, nice spaces and all that. And then came this jargon of, put in more number of people, push, and that came down to almost 35 square feet per person. Right? Now,
for long time, for long time, it was the standard. You have to achieve the 40 square feet per person.
Yes. So now we are going to go back in time. Sure. And we have to go back in time so that the modularity, as what Kamal was talking about, will again become, like each person, instead of he getting quarter X, he'll at least get his 1X. And that is going to help the distancing and the things. Sorry, we are also putting in too much pressure on the air conditioning. We are, on the amount of fresh air which is required. So all that is definitely going to go for a change. But main thing is, yes, the square footage per person, I'm sure, is definitely going to now get eased out. It may be two ways. Either the number of, the number of workstations will go low, or they may call in people to work. 50% people come one day and the other 50% people come on another day. But the per square footage will still be the same, however the industry goes ahead further.
Okay. Mayur, Chirag, you guys want to take up your take on this?
Yeah. Actually, it's true, the modular furniture will work. And another analysis was when I met few of the corporate clients and people whom with we are working now, initially, with a lot of cramped offices, a lot of more workforces, the costing was too high and everything. So like you said, with the number of people going in, they thought that production was high, but cost increased. Right now, with work from home culture, the cost of production has gone down, but productivity has increased. So like you said, it was just a illusion that getting more people crammed in will get more work, or getting more and more manpower will get more thing. So I think that ease of space, which much more vertical buildings would definitely benefit, and they'll go to the roots again with more of natural lights and more of open spaces and more of negative spaces, which like what we have seen in these projects, which would not be the part of brief given by the client, but were created to enhance the experience. On the same note, I just noted one question which I would like to ask Nandan, if you allow.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just because it was a Calcutta project, and like you said, I had been there, so I wanted to ask the students how important was for Abin to introduce local art, especially because it is in Calcutta. I know Bengali are, they feel like what Dineshji has told, that it affects psychologically. But for a Bengali friend like I have a few friends, they do get connected to the local art, and they do get positivity with the local artist and art. So for him, there are two kind of corporate clients. One who like to imprint his own footprint. Like if a company has a corporate color, he would like to paint the entire city red or green. And one who would like to promote the local art, not his corporate identity. So what do you think the student can analyze a little bit, that what approach, you must have seen both the work, corporate office with a lot of corporate colors and a corporate office with a local fabric. What is your analysis on the things that you have seen?
Any of the students want to take this?
Yes, sir. So first of all, about the imprint of the designer itself, we noted that the handles of the doors were customizedly designed, and it was a signature style of Abin sir. And also about the local art, it was also important for the client. He also wanted to incorporate a museum in the office space, and it's, I think so, incorporating and relying on Indian and our own countries is equally important when selecting the materials and when selecting the design styles. So this was a great uh, view I had, that the designer used the interiors incorporated local art in the design.
Okay,
I like to add up a point. May I?
sure.
There are also international clients that the company deals into. So it would be a pleasure for them to see the local arts of the city, and they can take a sense of feel like what the city is all about with that company as well.
Yeah, it was very important for the positivity
And
instead of
so I
enhancing the
would like
corporate
to add a
identity.
point.
Yeah.
Like by coming into the office only, like the person, like they are dealing with international clients as well. So like coming into the office only, the client can get a feel like what the culture is all around, what the local art is all around, and that person can correlate to it and they can relate
So,
with it.
like, was the company promoting company or was the company promoting India? Understood the balance, right? He has to maintain the company identity at the same time. He has to maintain the cultural values. That is where the balance is struck between in the work atmosphere, and that is what I think it was good to analyze.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mayur, Mayur, do you want to add on to that? Okay. JP?
Like to add one more point with Dinesh. So nowadays, really our space utilization, that our standard for space, no, it's really come to something. Like the flexibility of space also. So everybody we are working from home. So every space has their full potential. We are use it for some other purposes. Like office space, and nowadays in a home they are using like a study room. They can take the dining areas for their art and crafts. So that flexible space, we can use it for a lot of purposes now. So maybe the post-COVID is it's a current situation only, but it's going to be changed very soon. But the spaces are now very used for all the potentials. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, JP. I'd like to welcome Abin to the panel. He's just joined us. He's on the way to his home village, so he's in a vehicle. I'll try to get him to uh, turn on the audio and video. Abin, if you can hear me, turn on
Yeah.
the. Hi, Abin.
Hi. Can you see
So
me?
we're not able to see him, but he's there. So Abin is a dear friend and one of my favorite architects around here. So welcome, Abin, and we've been enjoying your two projects, and the students have done a great job looking through your projects and presenting them to us. So I'd like to Abin to say a few words about your experience with those two projects. Yeah, go ahead, Abin.
Thanks, Nandu. Thanks, Nandu. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're clear. Go.
Okay. Yeah. So, it's a quite a large project of ArtPSG, of course, and it's for a long time that we are working for this particular project. So, though it's in kind of interior we showcased, but we did the landscape, we do a lot of installations on this particular projects. We do then completely different kind of roof experience center over there. And so interestingly, this project has which is important here, client has involved very, very deeply. Like Mr. Goenka has involved very, very deeply on choosing every materials, choosing artwork. So the whole idea when it came to us, it's like they are one of the most large art collectors of the country, one of the art collectors. So but we access, they have given an access to their digital archive. And we thought that we don't create a corporate office, we create a museum for them. It's like kind of celebration of their art loving attitude, the kind of curate they love to do always through arts and through art exploration. That is the starting point of our design, basically, to create those spaces in a stepways, the ghat, and each and every material of art has been decided from the day one.
Okay.
So it's a tedious process. I think Paramita has explained. Probably she has actually taken an extraordinary pain to handle one more than 100 different kind of vendor across the globe, matching of fabric with art pieces, all fabric, all carpets, and each and everything. It's a tough situation. Also, it's a very tough deadline. So it's a kind of nightmare, honestly. But yeah, finally we really.
But you woken us up to a beautiful dream from your nightmare.
Yes, of course. The whole idea is to really celebrate with art and other things, and the client is really enjoyed absolutely very much, and we also enjoyed working with them. Also similar to the RKFL. Yes, RKFL has a little bit of challenge of convincing sometimes clients, but also we try to explore and whatever materiality and simplicity in terms of the various functions in the various floors that we try to capture those things. I think both cases the team has taken an extraordinary pain to really deliver the projects.
Okay. Abin, was there any emphasis on Bengali art as such? Because there's a lot of Parishmati in the thing. Not really.
Not only that, no. Apart from Parishmati, there'll be there'll be another 7 Bengali artists and was a project. So more than 2,700 art pieces used in this whole corporate office.
Okay.
And for RKFL, we designed a few art pieces for that particular project. We have not because the client over there is art. So as a studio, we actually develop some of the art pieces.
Thanks, Abin. And please be around because I'm going to now take questions from the all the audience and all that.
Sure.
Thank you for sharing your work, and it is a privilege to.
No, it's always pleasure.
Since we can't get there to Kolkata right now.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so the first question I'm going to take is from our president. So she's got a question for you students. So the question is, you're in Jaipur and you're not able to go to the projects. So how did you find it difficult to study sitting afar from the project? Do you think it has affected your research in any ways? So students, one of you can take the question. Any one of the students, unmute yourself and.
Sir, I don't think.
Go ahead, Nishta.
Okay, sir, I don't think that it has affected much, but like we were not familiar with the location, so it would have been nice if we could have known about the location and the place about much.
Yeah, if you had gone there and experienced the place itself.
Yes, sir.
Around it, the neighborhood. Yeah. That's the only thing you think is the problem. So Kritika, you had something to say?
Yes, sir. We got to talk to the design team member. So that was very helpful. They explained us all the spaces. They shared all the documents with us. So it was easy to relate to that as they explained whatever we need, whatever doubts we had. If we were not there, we had doubts and that was cleared. And it was helpful talking to the designer itself.
So if Tilak and Paramita are around, we'd like to give you a big thanks for taking us through the 2 projects.
Sure, we pass on.
Teams. Yeah, Abin, please convey that to them. I think they're in the audience, but we're not able to get them on the thing. Okay, the other question. So Mayur Shah has a question. How the idea of art and art installations conceived and analyzed by the master designer, his view and process to add art into architecture. I think Mayur, that's been answered by Abin in his comments. So Mayur has another follow-up question. What is the difference between Kolkata design and Mumbai design? I don't know who will take it. Dinesh, by any chance, do you have an idea about this? Or Kamalji, you're working in both Kolkata and Mumbai. Difference between?
Yeah, very well. This is a very good question for me.
Go ahead.
So, Mumbai, see, the energy level in the Mumbai street and the Mumbai railway local train and the energy level in the Kolkata street and Kolkata or other spaces are difference in, maybe I can say it is 50% difference is there. So I have office in Mumbai and where I have designed the spaces as per Kolkata. And whenever I was there, I used to feel yaar kuch to kam hai, kuch to kami hai. Then I've added some more table spaces, more furniture to make it cramp, and then it was good. So this is a big difference in the Kolkata and Mumbai.
Okay.
Yeah. Another thing is, yes, we get time here to involve ourselves in the office artwork and all that. We get a lot of time here. In Mumbai, the life is in such a way that they are not getting time to see for anything. Only they get time to for that they that the mostly I'm talking about the staff, not about the owners. Owner they get the time, but the staff is definitely they don't get so much time because of the traveling hectic schedule is there. Every day morning they are traveling 1 hour to 2 hours, then they are evening they are traveling so much. So and the so much rush is there. So their mind is more busy to manage their time in the office.
Okay.
There's another one thing is there.
Okay. Abin, by any chance, you have an opinion between Kolkata design and Bombay design?
No, I don't think there is any design attitude as a difference, because we worked for a few of the projects in Kolkata. I think both cases we successfully completed with an equal spirit of what we deliver in Calcutta.
Okay.
It's how and any design context of, especially in interiors corporate office, I'm just thinking it has to be able and extensive. If you're explorative, you can explore everywhere.
Okay. Okay. Next question. There's a question where maybe this is for you also, Abin. How do you actually start the process of interior designing? What materials and color palettes? How do you take your inspirations? Here you used the heritage of Bengal. So any suggestions on?
So honestly for like not only and as a corporate office for projects, but it all about the context.
Okay.
Is the budget, and these are the starting point we brainstorm, and what is with this projects what we are aiming for. I think that is a very, very important notion. I think that we don't the plan and other things, then start understand what is the kind of people using it, what is the kind of maintenance, what is the kind of budget, because that is important for us to understand the materiality, and also we should live up to projects. So this is not a temporal thing. It has to be very permanent. So even 20 years down the line, you should be proud enough to be part of that project as not being.
Okay, the next question to the students. So they're saying you talked about the positives. So the question is, students, can you list some cons in the design? So that will be great to hear from you.
Can you repeat the question?
Actually, Abin, this question is to the students.
They're
asking the students if they found some defects in your design.
Oh yes, that's it. That's a good question. I really love to hear about this.
Okay, guys. So, any deficiencies you found?
So according to me, there was no defects in sir's design.
Okay.
It was just fantastic to just study about his project.
No, it should be honest. It should be honest.
No, sir, I'm honest.
Okay. Tobin, you know of any cons that you'd like to point out to us?
I think so many.
All of us designers would have tons of things that we would like to redo.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in RPG also we have idea of understanding materiality that we really have to change.
Mm-hmm.
And in RKFL also, given choices, we love to change some of the materiality. And the space probably we really need to explore some of the last moment. But we really feel proud being in.
Abin, we've lost you again forever. Okay, we'll wait for Abin to get back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Just go ahead.
So I think in road there's some network issues. So I think we are mostly very proud of both the projects. But of course, if you ask me, is that your the kind of project that you really love to do again? Not really, because we really love to explore more materiality. I really don't love much using like a marble and other things. Okay. Sometimes it's kind of an client's demand or something. I really have to explore.
I would suggest that you put your video off. That will help you to have the audio on a better scale.
Go ahead, Abin.
Yeah, yeah. So what I feel is I really love to explore with the kind of reality. It's a simple but very innovative.
Okay, I think Abin, we're losing you, so we'll get back to this.
So I think I'm really looking for something new to explore.
Okay. So Abin, I'd like to again thank you for taking this time out, and we'll let you get back on your journey.
Thank you so much for everything.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Abin.
you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Abin. Okay. We have another special guest here. We have Archana Surana, founder and director of Arch College of Design and Business. Archana's successfully carries forward a legacy of 20 years as the founder director of Arch College of Design and Business. The students that presented today are part of her institution. And we'd like to welcome you, Archana, and we'd like to hear your take on this whole exercise and webinar. Archana, please go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me over, and I was really thrilled to see what the students have been put to do. And I think this is a great learning opportunity which you have shown them, and these are going to be role models in terms of for the other class, the other batches as well, because since they have closely worked with eminent architects, it completely gives them a whole new perspective. While I could see them, they were very naive. They were very, very tender in the way they were approaching. And but the good thing is that, they have been exposed to a culture which they will bring forth with, that will actually shape up their futures. And I really want to congratulate the IIID 33 chapters have actually brought this exchange program together. And I think it's commendable when the industry and the academia, they can work together and build such association which can actually have quality designers emerge for the future. So with Anshuman Sharma ji, who's we're kind to have him over the campus also to come and teach with us. So I'm very glad that he took on this opportunity to have these young people represent. So 2 of them are on the International Study Abroad program. They'll be going abroad to complete their degree. And they've completed 3 years with us. And the other 3 of them are from the 3rd year. They've just stepped into the 5th semester on a Bachelor's of Design, Interior Design course, which is affiliated to the University of Rajasthan. So thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. And I hope to see many more such occasions where the students can get to interact with the masters. And I think the work was fantastic, what they actually got to analyze. And I think they need to be more reflective. And I think that's an opportunity. While with this discussion, I think that's a culmination of their learnings of this whole project. Thank you once again. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Archana, for being here and being part of this thing. So we are in the 6th webinar of 33 in the first cycle. So there are a lot more coming up. And thank you for being part of this. I'd like to conclude by thanking each one of my student participants, their instructor Charu Sharma, and each one of my panelists, and everybody who turned up to listen to the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
And Anshuman, can we bring you on and conclude this, please?
Yes, that makes it complete.
Yeah. The initiator needs to come on and say the goodbye.
No, thank you. Thank you, Nanda. And we are all the initiators. It's just happened that, the idea came from me, but this absolutely wouldn't have been possible without the 32 of you. I just had to, drop in a simple message and, you were all on board. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. And to the students, you have actually, surpassed my expectations. So very well done. During the mock run, you were a little bit nervous, but congratulations, really well done. And to my chairpersons, fellow chairpersons, thank you for being with us. Till next time, we'll meet you next Wednesday. Thank you.